we are going live, y'all. What's the deal, pickles? Y'all, we're going live. It is Sunday. It is the day for crafting and convo, and I literally just lost my cord for the phone so that we stay charged. And I'm ready to get started. So let me do an update on what took place this week. And y'all, I still have y'all, I'm in my office, so y'all gonna see stuff. I'm like, you see stuff everywhere. And then I think I'm gonna do slow stitching today. I have the piece that I started on last week. I made progress on it this week. I was thinking about doing watercolor today, but I finished the swatches that I needed to do, and I hadn't really decided what I was going to do next since I completed my paintings for this week in the live class. So, yeah. So I'm like, how am I going to get under here? Okay, let me show you. I'm literally trying to get this cord. Okay. I'm trying not to run up like I had to do last time, like the babysitter leaving the kids unattended. Okay, hold on. I gotta leave. Hold on. I'm so sorry, but I need the juice. I gotta have the juice. Because my phone, there we go. I'm so sorry. Oh, my bad. Y'all listen, my phone will not stay charged the whole time. And if we don't have the juice, then this is not going to go down, okay? There we go. So let me show you what I did this week. My brain is a little bit groggy because I just woke up from a nap, so just give me a second to warm up. So I do have a little bit of coffee. I have water. So this is the time for you to go grab your project. I feel like I want to chat a little bit about where we left off last week since I literally didn't realize time was going that fast. Okay, let me do the updates. Here are the two paintings from my live watercolor class this week. Look, I don't even have to interpret what you're looking at. This is the first one. This is the second one. My eyes are a little dry. I want to add a little bit more to this one. And at first I was going to add more leaves on this one, but we did 3 in class and I was like, you know what? Leave it alone because it looks really just fine. I also did a new swatch. I was doing a practice exercise for brush control, and she did this really fun thing of, this wasn't the same watercolor class, this is another instruction thing that I had, but what she did was she created instructions to walk us through the process of creating what she called a flat wash. And I loved her instructions, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna create a card with the instructions, and then as I go along, if I just create some other fun things or things that I want to remember. This seems so simple, but I always forget. Like, I'm still learning. I'm still really new at it. And so I cut another one. I used some old paper that I was just using to clean off the paint off my brush. And I think I'm going to do one more with maybe finding some brush stroke exercises or something, because I'm not good at it. I'm getting better, but I can tell that's something I really need to practice. So I'm going to put these away because I only left them out to show you. I'll show you, I did this as well that I'm going to turn into a bookmark. And I also did another swatch. Let me show you. I'm starting to love these swatches. I'm loving the swatches. I have a couple of more paint sets that have a lot. And now that I've practiced, okay, so here are the other swatches I did this week. I did this second row. This is actually white. I did the white first so to help me orient, like when I look at the actual pan. But aren't these colors beautiful? They're so pretty. It's a whole set of like teals and turquoise, and it's just beautiful. There's a blue and a green, and some blues and greens. It's like a good mixture. And then this is this set right here is such a beautiful set. I showed you that one before, but let me just tell you, the real MVP, let me see if I have it. Wait, which one? Hold on. This is the, oh no, these are really, really pretty. But the ones that I find myself reaching for all of the time is this top set. This top set was, I just thought it was like a cheap set, but it's not cheap. I think, y'all, these are my reading glasses. We listen and don't judge. I thought, well, I think on there it had professional quality or professional grade watercolors. It's this koi set. I love this koi set. It's so, I mean, the colors turn out well. There's a nice variety. And when I use this color set, I don't have to do a lot of mixing. I'm realizing I mean, the mixing is okay, but to me, when you do the mixing, you got to think about too much. And I just don't, you got to pull out the color wheel. I can't remember what colors make what. So it's just so much easier to just have the colors already made. So that was my update on my watercolor class. I also added a couple of pieces in this journal. This was a journal that I showed in an unboxing. I'm trying to remember when. In an unboxing when I went to for my birthday. When we went out to all these shops for my birthday. We went to the art supply store. We went to Five Below. We went to, that was before Joann's closed. So we went to Joann's, we went to Michael's, we went to Hobby Lobby. Like we went everywhere. And I found this journal and I got it because it was butterflies on it. Now, I didn't know what the paper was. I thought the paper was watercolor paper, but because the pages look like this. But now that I've started using the pages, I think the pages are mixed media paper, because when I tried to do watercolor, I first was like doing some of the cleaning my brushes off in here just to see how it would work. And what I found, it takes really well, because I started doing some boxes. I'm going to do some practice doodles in this journal because I realized I don't know how to doodle. I used to draw a lot as a kid, and I feel like I just need to practice. And so what I've started doing is drawing shapes in here, random shapes, so that I could just come back in and color them. And then because I didn't have enough time to pull out my watercolors, I pulled out my Sharpie markers. Not the Sharpie markers that are like real Sharpies, like that you're trying to put permanent marker on, but the new Sharpie, I think they're acrylic paint pen markers that they have. And I had so much fun. Y'all was doing this while I was on conference calls. Look at this one. Now, what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to go through and put different like doodles inside of each one, because every time I'm supposed to doodle on something, I just do the same thing. I either do polka dots or lines. For some reason, I can't ever remember anything. So I was like, I think I'm going to just fill this book up, and then whenever I need to think about something, I can just come and pick this book up. And I wanted it to be something I would enjoy flipping through, because this is the butterfly book. So the acrylic markers, and again, here they are. They took well to the page, and look, they didn't bleed through. So I have the acrylic paint markers, and I also have the alcohol markers. And the alcohol markers always bleed on this kind of paper unless I have marker paper. Ohuhu, I think that's what how you use the brand. They have some really good marker paper, but I haven't tried them in here, but I'm almost certain they'll bleed. And I'm trying to be able to use both sides of the paper. And the final thing that I did as far as arts is I've started creating some like penciling in. Hold on. I've only done one piece in here, and I'm prepping for some more. I just got in some rulers and some stencils to help me. I just bought some drafting stencils because I need to practice my brush strokes. So I was like, let me do something simple. So this is the piece that I did complete this. And yeah, so that's all that. Let me get to what we're working on today. Yeah, I really enjoy doing those. They are so good for, I had to finish 2 books this week. So that's why I got so much of that done, because I needed to finish 2 audiobooks. So here's what we're working on today. I started it last week. This isn't finished. I just have it pinned on. So far, I have been working my way all the way around, which you saw me do last week. This is using the Kwandi technique. It's not 100% traditional Kwandi. One of the things that I did add that was different or new is I added the first piece of yellow. And it's just on top. And I've decided, I know it's not technically the real Kwandi method, is I'm just going to go around and add the foundation, and then I'm going to come back and put some pieces on top that I'm probably just going to just like tack down or slow stitch down. I'm not totally 100% committed to that, but because what I realized, and she didn't say this in the class, is that when I did this one, it helped that I started off with big pieces on the outside. So this is better than last time. But what I don't like is I don't like that the batting is right here. I wish I would have done my 3 pieces and just put a piece of fabric down and then put this fabric on top. But that would have just been a lot of stitching, because every once in a while, because these blues are so dark, you can kind of see the batting coming through, and I'm trying to avoid that, but I think it's unavoidable. So I'm gonna set myself up so that we can stitch and talk. Let me know in the chat like what you're working on. And where did I put a pin? Oh, here it is. I'm absolutely loving this though. So when we left off, I think I had just finished 1 round, and now I'm on the 4th round. The way that you know, let me just show you up close. See the stitches? Can you see the stitches? Let me show you. This gray, I don't know if I like the gray. Oh, here's the good one to see. See all these is the rounds. And yeah, I think next time I'm going to stick with white. The gray looks okay. It looks great, but you can't really see it that much. And I also need to pull out my basting stitches. I did not do that because I thought I would do it on camera with you guys. So I need to get thread. The thread itself is doing great. Again, I'm using my favorite, which is Coats and Clark. And I need scissors. I am finding that I love using the straight pins. Oh, another thing that I found out. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm going to be popping these glasses up and down, up and down. I don't know if I told you, but I got readers. and I love it because I can see. Okay, I had this glue stick in my sewing kit for my hexies, and I don't like using the glue stick for the hexies, but I'm finding that it is perfect for this. It is perfect for this. So that makes me excited. So what I do is whenever I have a new piece of fabric, I'll show it as an example. Let's say I was doing this and I'm about to put it down. I'll turn it over and I'll run the glue on the edges that I need to fold under. So if I was needing to just do this L shape, I'd run some glue here, and then I'll do this, and then I'd run some glue here, and then I would do this, and that would give me my straight edges. Say clock it, clock it. Okay, so here we go. So let me go ahead. Because this piece is big, I just fold over the sections I'm not sewing, and then I just dive in. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. How was your week? Did you get to do any crafting? I know they usually recommend you don't do anything more than arm's length. I always find like that goes too fast. You'll find yourself like rethreading every 5 minutes. And so I don't follow that rule. I also found that there was something else. Oh, ending this whenever you run out of a string is so interesting. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but when we were in the class, when she ended hers and started a new string, she just pulled through the back like normal, and just the thread would just be on the back side, you know, kind of hidden. But I don't like that. I like hiding it between the top layers so you don't see where it ends. So that's what I've been doing. I don't know. I have to set up, y'all. I like to keep my straight pins. These straight pins have been amazing. I like to have my straight pins ready. But so I go under whatever piece I'm working on as best as I can and bring the fabric up from the back. I mean the thread from the back. I'll show you if I can. I'll show you in just a second. It's hard when you're doing it at this angle, but I'm gonna try. So see, here's there we go. Here's my needle. I went under this piece and then I bring it up. I just put a knot at the end and I bring it up, and then I pin the fabric back down in place. And I find that if I do that, and there goes that cotton again. What I'll also do is I will do like a little, what I call like just a little tack stitch. I'll do a tiny back stitch, so it'll sort of like lock it in. And I try my best to still do like a stab stitch. If I can do it at the end of a piece of like end of a piece of fabric like this, like on the edge, it's really helpful because it's laying that edge down and it's allowing me to sort of get this stitch established. Hold on, here we go. The other thing is once you start rolling, I do sort of feed the stitches on there. Y'all, this is, y'all, again, if you guys want to see like a tutorial or something, even though y'all know that's not necessarily my bag, just let me know, because I would do the angle in a different way. This is not meant to be a tutorial. So let's continue with where we left off last week. First of all, I hope you had a great week. I hope that you're staying warm, that you guys, if you are in, like, I know in Houston, this winter storm is supposed to be still hitting us. You know, the grocery stores were, of course, like crazy, and stuff was all sold out. But I did our grocery order early. I go to the grocery store, but not as often. And so we did that. And then today, because I because it was so cold here, we rarely get cold. Since it was cooler here, I made red beans and rice, and I did it instead of doing. I didn't have. I I forgot to get cornbread, so instead of doing cornbread, I did pull apart bread. I think sometimes people call it monkey bread, but I did that, and then we'll be having that for dinner. And so, yeah. So this week in general, I hope you're working. Let me know in the chat what you're working on. If I miss it, know that I do come back and I do check the comments. I really wish y'all would comment too. But if you don't, it is what it is. This week was a great week. We had, I record a podcast with a friend. And so it was podcast recording week. And so that meant that a whole day of recording. But it went great. It's always great to, like, we're working, but also being able to hang out with somebody that you enjoy talking to. And it meant also, oh no. So I had that book we finished, which was Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. About to sit down and crochet, working on it just pops up and goes away. Wait. Y'all, I don't know how to do it. I'm glad you're crocheting. I did see that part. That was one of my backup projects. I have this granny square blanket that I've literally been working on for years. And I'm not even in a hurry to finish it. But I am kind of in a hurry now because I finally know who it's supposed to go to. Do you guys ever do that? Like, you just start working on projects and you know that you don't know who it's going to go to, but you just, work on it. And this one I've been working on for a long time. And I know, and then I now know who it's supposed to go to. And so now I'm ready to finish it. But I have to plan when to do it because it is so huge now. And I used to could just pick it up and just go to work. Now I have to get set up, pull it out, etc. So, I was working on my, y'all, I hate when I have to get up because then I got to be all in your face. Pardon me. Let me get mine. I was working on my Bible scriptures, and I came across this verse, and y'all, I know where it is because I have these fun SpongeBob posted tabbies. Y'all, I have never even watched a SpongeBob episode, and these tabs came inside of one of the things. I'm going to read this. If you're not a believer, we're going to talk about it, and then we'll go back to the conversation we was talking about last week. Okay. It says, the Lord directs, it's Psalms 37, 23, 24. The Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. Though they stumble, they will never fall, for the Lord holds them by the hand. And this was one of the scriptures that I was doing in the scripture writing. And when I came across it, because I gave myself time this morning to do some like getting caught up on my scripture writing and just drinking my coffee and studying. And it made me think about what we talked about last week about those slow micro habits that I've been working on over time to be the woman that I want to be, to show up the way that I want to show up. Oh, I want to put something in this space. To show up the way I want to show up, and the decisions that I've made to honor that. And I have some extra fabrics in here at the bottom that I haven't cut. And I think I'm trying to not cut into them, but I need to for the variety. So let me dig. I have some fat quarters down here. I'm trying to see if I have any others. Oh, I have this blue. I think I'm going to do this. I don't want to do this because it'll look like I'm repeating that. Well, I might not have a choice. Y'all, I talk like this every single time. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. That's the thing about this. Like, you can keep going around until you reach the end of a fabric, and then then you can add another fabric. Or like where I've done is like sometimes I'll add another fabric on top. And like when I find that it seems like there's just a whole lot of space happening, but the way that I think I'm going to fix that, and I'm sorry, y'all, I'm literally having a squirrel moment like mid-thought, is I think I'm going to, like I said earlier, come back and do some slow stitching on top. But what I think I want to slow stitch on top are Bible scriptures. And I was like, I've done that before. I did that with a prayer quilt before. I don't know how I would do it with a piece this small, but I was like, I could just embroider it on, right? I'm gonna have to like think about that. But I have, the good thing is I don't have to know right now. And if I come back and I do it on top, hold on, I'm getting to the end and about to make a turn. So I was thinking about the like micro decisions that I've made. I told you all about like my clothes, and I made huge changes and decisions when it comes to my business. I didn't say that last week, but I did. I'm working this year to make it so that I get to continue to do what I love doing in my business, but doing it all basically part-time. And I'm on track to make that happen. So, oh, be careful, Dana. Y'all, I'm over here talking. Hold on. Here we go. And this year, another thing in my business, I'm committing to it. So I'll start doing updates. I'm committing to writing a book that this book has been in my mind, I would say, over a decade. I've never done anything like it. And I'm starting to think, like I keep saying, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. And I'm starting to feel like later is now for this particular project. So I'm going to do that this year. But the bigger parts that has been like a big part of right now has been like my health and getting my body and just feeling comfortable in my skin. And it's not really about, y'all, I'm stitching. Y'all should be still working while I'm talking. Um, it's not about a particular like weight or whatever, but the reality is we know when we are just at a point where it hurt, like it doesn't hurt, but it feels uncomfortable getting up, uncomfortable sitting down. You sit down too long, you got to move around. Like, I'm like, no, I'm not even gonna, that's not, listen, our bodies are gonna do what they do, but I'm like, I'm gonna do everything I can to, help me age gracefully, So this week up, another thing that we did was my husband and I mean, if we don't know if when he'll post it, but we were interviewed by a podcast because we started um doing this. What it was a protocol that the it's called, I always remember it as AHA, but I think it's called like alternative health something, or a healthy alternative. I think it's a healthy alternative, AHA. And they had this protocol where it was for to release, they say lose, but I'm going to say release because we don't want to lose it and find it again. Okay? We want to release it and let it go. Let it be free to bother somebody else. Okay? So they had a protocol to release 80 pounds in 90 days. That wasn't why I did it. I wanted to do something where I was just realigning myself with making healthy food choices and doing it in a way that I could maintain until. I did not want to just like cut everything out. Like I was vegan for probably over a decade. Y'all, I really feel like time just turns into a different thing. Like I don't always remember. That's not a very strong suit of mine, but I was a vegan for over a decade. I know I was a vegetarian for probably another decade. I think it was total. I started being vegetarian when my daughter was maybe around 3 or 4. And that's about right. So between the two, it was probably almost 20 years, roughly. And after that, I found that it was just like really hard to maintain. Oh, I got too close right there. The way that I wanted. And then I also know that it wasn't just that. I realized later that another thing that I stopped doing was I stopped running. I used to, whenever I turn this, I have to be so careful that I don't run into pins and poke myself. Okay. This is so cool because of me doing these cowboy fabrics. It's like they blend into each other. It's almost like you can't fully even see. Like you can see where one starts and one ends, but it almost looks as if it's a piece of, like a new piece of cloth. But anyways, I stopped running. And at the time, I didn't realize that it was such a big decision when I stopped running. I mean, I kind of knew, but I didn't. And when I stopped running, I really stopped doing physical activity. We would still walk, but I just wasn't doing, and I just realized now that I just wasn't doing enough. And here's the thing. Okay. Y'all, this stuff blends in so much that I'm literally having to like feel around and see where I am. I stopped running, and that also meant that you're not burning those calories, and You also are, I was not making the same food choices. The great thing is, like, I don't eat everything all the time or something like that, but it was a difference. And then you add aging onto that, hormones, the fact that I have a very sedentary job, in my business. I mean, I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm on conference calls or Zoom calls now, I would say, but I'm on Zoom calls all the time. And that just is not conducive to, getting movement in there. And y'all, I'm still going. Are you still going? And I did it all like in a very short period of time. And so it was over, like, I would say, like a year or so. And it just sort of just like creeps up on you, you know? It just creeps up on you. And before I knew it, it was like, wait a minute. Listen, I felt like, I felt, I felt like Deborah Cox. How did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be. That's how I felt. And it was like, you did this. And now, because of like making this commitment to myself, so what I did, and I know it sounds like I'm rambling a little bit, I am, but a lot of it I'm not. So what I did was I started just doing little things at a time. Another reason why I want to get back to running is because I also realized that I missed how clear my head was. Oh, it's snowing there. It's not snowing. It's supposed to. We're supposed to maybe get a little bit of snow. Um, I bet those babies loved that. Did you also take the dogs out too in the snow, or just the kids? And so, I missed like the other benefits too, of like my head being clear, and time to like think. I used to always called it, thinking on my feet. One of the fun facts about me, I got so many of them, is that I don't like group exercise. I don't like when I'm working out for people to talk to me. Because I realize now, just keeping it 100 with myself, I don't think I will ever be the person that loves working out. Like, I will do it, I'll enjoy it while I'm doing it, but I don't ever think I'll be the one that enjoys it. Oh, I know they did. Oh my gosh. And so, it's important, again, right? Aging gracefully, want to be fly in my own right. Right now, not this, I realized that of all the things that I could do, that was something that I enjoy doing. And it's something that I can do on my own, that I can do it on my own. I can get a training program. I could even still work with a coach if I wanted to, because running coaches, you just have to check in, right? You don't have to, I don't do running groups. Well, I did running groups for years, but the running group that I used to run with, that I truly enjoyed running with, they stopped. And that was another like contributor to me stopping. They stopped the group, and then I stopped going. And then the kind of nail that was the last nail in the coffin or whatever was that, I'm trying to knot this and I let this string get way too small, was that I used to run a, they call it the Texas Bridge Series in our area. And it happens, I think it starts in September, like September, October, November, and you do two 10Ks and one half marathon. And I used to do those plus an additional half marathon a year. So I used to do those 4 races a year. And I stopped doing them completely. And I didn't give it much thought right at the time. But it came back to me and was like, oh, so it was like I made one decision, and it's just like, isn't that how life is? Like, you just make a decision, and in the moment it just feels like, man, I don't feel like doing it. And then it turns into another thing and another thing and, pardon me, another thing, and it's like a snowball effect. And so now I find myself starting over from scratch. And it is very, very, very humbling, because I'm literally starting from scratch. Like, so, which feels like, it almost, honestly, if I keep it a buck, like, it feels like, man, I don't want to do this. But when I think of the bigger picture, when I think about that vision of myself, when I think about how I want to show up and how I want to move and how I want to, it's like, okay, that's what I feel like. It feels like, okay, we're doing this. And with that said, the first thing, that knot was not big enough. I lost it a little bit trying to talk. Now that song is going to be stuck in my head. So what I've done, back to the micro decisions or the micro habits, is like starting to do like a little at a time. Going back to what I said last week when I said, I don't know who said the quote, but it just came back in my mind, and it just hasn't left me. Haven't left me, which is, we underestimate how much we can accomplish over time, and we overestimate how much, we underestimate how much we can complete over a long period of time, and we overestimate what we can accomplish in a short period of time. So what that means here is, you know, you always hear, Rome wasn't built in a day. But it's like, when you're doing something like weight release and you're aiming to just like change your body, you're like, I want it now. But if I stop and think about it, this happened over years. And Lord, please, I don't want it to like creep off over years. But I just have to like extend grace to myself. I'm adding the new thread. Y'all, when you get to the end of this thing starts to truly roll, because you start making those rounds quicker, because you're going from the outside in. Getting this one anchored. And so with that said, going back, we started the protocol, and it was 90 days. And I thought, this is a great amount of time to just do the work. Just do what the protocol says, show up, do it. And I didn't know. And at first, my husband was just going to join me for the first week to give me support. In the end, it he ended up doing the entire 90 days with me. And even now he, of course, because we know how men do for this kind of stuff, he reached his goal weight. I didn't. But I wasn't like, so for example, like I realized I didn't, so some of the decisions that I made when I did it was I did not take a lot of pictures. I took pictures of the scale. I did not take pictures of my body. I wanted it to be where I get to just feel comfortable in my skin. So I know, or just feel comfortable in my body. But I did do the scale so that I would know where I was in the process, you know? Um, and I let the journey just be what it was. And so I did it and released around 40 pounds. And so, and we did it together. And I guess, according to the guy who interviewed us, you know, that was not, you know, wasn't common, which makes sense to me, you know, like that a husband and wife team did it together. And we were I think he said one of the first, or we're going to be probably one of the first interviews that he will publish for this particular protocol. And then I am starting it again, starting tomorrow. I was planning to start it before, and I did a little bit, but I wasn't very committed. Now I am, because I'm saying it aloud. I'm committing to, I would love to reach my goal by my birthday. And my birthday is in April. And at the time of this recording, it is the end of January. Oh, y'all, this has so many layers. It has so many layers. Oh, I just hit a seam. I just hit a seam in the actual piece that I have on here. So I need to go underneath the seam. So yeah, so that was one of the habits of just like showing up for myself. And I have others that I have lined up around that'll be coming up. But right now, it's really is just that. I feel like doing that and starting to get to a place where I can start my running again is enough. Like that's more than enough to be, you know, committed to. Okay, do I want to put this on here now? Okay. I had this piece of red that I found because I just wanted it to pop, something to pop. I'm gonna try to make this a little bit straighter, because it'll make the rectangle look a little bit better. I don't need to do a lot, but it was just, and then I'm gonna do the glue. I think I can. I don't think I'm gonna do it. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna just do it on top. I was worried. Like I was like, oh, I want to stick to as traditional as possible, but I'm just gonna tack this on later. I'm just gonna do it later. It's not gonna hurt anything. But I'm gonna. So what I do is I have a little safety pin, and I'm just safety pinning it in this area, and because I know that this is different than a straight pin, but I have it in the area that I want to put it later, so that I'll have that little pop of color. And so going back to that scripture, today what hit me was realizing that let me go back. And I hope, like, if you have any questions about this, definitely ask. I hope this is hitting, like, it's not just me, but if it is, I mean, I'm enjoying it. Okay. The Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. Though they stumble, they will never fall, for the Lord holds them by the hand. And what really popped out on this, first of all, the thought that God delights in every little detail that concerns us was amazing. But it's also like how, in my mind, everything adds up, right? Like over time, everything adds up. Even when we think it doesn't make sense, in some way, as a believer, it will. And the fact that He delights in everything that we do, sitting right now, stitching, delights Him. If we are just being intentional and keeping Him in our minds, the things that we feel like are so hard or that's challenging us, or we feel like we don't know how we're going to get to the other side of it, He's with you. Like, you may stumble, but you will, it said, never fall. And it just makes me feel, it makes me feel encouraged, but also that as I do this thing that seems like it's a big thing to do, I'm always amazed how the things you need and the resources that you need, even if it's not exactly what you ask for, finds its way to you. Like, I remember when I was about to start that protocol, I knew I wanted to do it. I used to watch I used to love to watch the YouTube channel and watch his interviews with people who had done his program. And I would just watch them. And sometimes it was like, almost like convicting, because you see people doing it and just like not waiting. And here I am, I keep waiting for the perfect time. And I'd feel like, man, I need to just do it. And literally, I remember one time I was like, oh, do I want to pay for this? Like, I don't know. And right, the protocol that I did, that's when he decided that he wasn't even going to charge for it. He was giving the protocol away for free. And I was like, you have no excuse. It's free. And even though, I mean, I ended up buying it because I was like, I want to, and so into what they're doing, because they really are helping people reverse health issues and giving so much back to the community. That I did, but it was just something that, like, all excuses, are out the window. And so it's like everything works out for our good, but also He's with us the entire way. So when I think it's like, oh, this is so hard, this is so challenging, I'm not doing it by myself. Even when, I can think, oh, I'm doing it with my spouse. So with that said, I also think with that the vision, like what I see for myself and what I feel He's showed me that I can do and how I can show up, that's real, and that I'm responsible for that. That I want to be able to move. And y'all, I've gone to races, and there's been times, I remember one time when one of my very first races. Okay, if you've never watched like a marathon or a half marathon, just watching it as a spectator, do it. It will be like, it will be, it, it, it will probably surprise a lot of people. I remember my very first half marathon. Was it a half marathon? No, I think it was a 10K, but one of my earlier ones. You'll go out there. I went out there. I'm gonna speak for myself because it really was bad, baby. I got humbled real quick. You go out there, you see people all ages, all sizes. I promise you, there was somebody near me that was stretching, and she was probably 3 times my age. I would probably guess right now she was probably in her 60s, and at the time, I was in my 20s. Oh, I was in my 20s. And you'd be thinking, Man, I'm a third of this woman's age. Y'all listen. Baby, that didn't mean nothing. That woman took off. Okay? I was, I was, I was, I was, I was in her dust. I was in her dust. I've seen people who look like they are way more shorter, taller, younger, older. I think running is, I mean, it becomes a thing where it's about your conditioning. It is not about your age if you're, you know, taking care of yourself. And so, yeah, like I feel like I'm just very prayerful that I just stay the course, that I don't give up because it's not easy, you know? But I do. I have a vision and I've been shown a vision and I want to see it through. So I'm like, the goal is the next major goal is to train and to be ready to start to do the bridge series this year. And it means that I really got to get on it because the first race, I have I do have time though. I do have time. But the first race is usually, I think, in September. And then there's two that I usually like to do in October. I mean, it's one in October, September, or September, October, and then November. And then there's one that I used to like to do, which was the Houston half, that I would love to be able to I would love to be back to doing the 4 races that I always did again. And then Lord's will, just keep doing that. Whether I walk them or whether I walk them or whether I run them, just committing to like being one of the people out there as a commitment to myself and my health. And it sort of reminds me even about like what we're doing right now. It just, you know, you taking the time to just slow down and do something for you, whether it's to sit and read or sit and craft like this, and, you know, allow us to keep you company while you do it. Like it counts. It counts. And so, how old on time? Oh, it's almost time. Okay. I also think it's kind of cool to think that there could be things that I aspired to when I could have done it when I was younger and had, you know, had at least youth on my side. But that I learned how to do and be and sort of not commit. There's another word I'm looking for, to just like do the daggone thing now. Now this is rolling. I've already passed where I started. I honestly feel like if I keep doing this, working on this week, I will have this done. I have I have 2 books I need to finish this week too. Whenever I'm reading books for my business or with a client, I like to, if it has an audiobook, I like to listen to the complete audiobook first before I have to go in and do like deep work on it, so that I know like what was already sort of going on in the story. So this makes it really great when you have something like this. Sometimes I'll do chores, but I find that trying to do it and doing chores around the house is not as good of an option, because there may be things that while I'm listening to it, I want to take notes. And when I'm doing chores, that means I got to pause it, I got to find the note, all this other stuff. But when I'm sitting like this, I just keep my either my iPad or my laptop near, and then I can y'all, I promise you, the thing that this challenges for me more than anything is sewing straight. I feel like I was like, should I have just done like drew lines on here? I just pulled that stitch out. I realized at the tail end of this piece of fabric, I'm not catching it, so I need to go up and catch it. Okay, so let's see. Let me see if there's anything else before we start wrapping up. I want to keep these at an hour. I hope that you're enjoying yourself. I hope that you are getting stuff done. I hope that scheduling these makes it easier for you to try to come in and join us. I really hope that you will use this time and maybe even set something aside to join us. My plan is to schedule another one next week. So just look at, watch my channel, because this does make it easier for me to get something up on my channel every week. So y'all have these two fabrics that are hitting right next to each other. And I just realized I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm gonna have to fix that. I have an idea. Okay, let me show you what I've just run into. I ran into a problem, but I'm gonna fix it. I'll show you. Let me show you, and this will be the last thing. Okay, so right here, I have a problem. This piece is all tacked down all the way around, but now I have these two raw edge pieces that are bumped up against each other. So I need to put something here, because if I fold the seam back on this or fold the seam back on this, it exposes the batting. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do, this was a 2.5-inch piece. I don't think it wasn't a square, because that was just a raw cut. I think what I'm gonna do is find another one and bump it right up against this and extend it as if it's two pieces. But it's got to be something that is not the same. I could do this one. No, it's the same color as that. Just don't like lay it on the exact same color. Oh, I could do this light one. I have this. No, I don't want to do gray. I think I'm gonna do this. I have these. This is like a really faint. I need to do it long enough to clear this one. Okay. So what I do to try to get a true square is I sort of do like this, and then I just cut right here. This is so different because that last slow stitch project that I did, I had raw edges. This one doesn't have raw edges. It it folds everything under. Okay, and then I'm going to do the glue stick. But I need to do it smaller than, I want to make it about the same size as this piece. Okay. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. You know, I think, you know, like I was thinking about how, you know, for a long time when people used to say like, you know, 30 is the new 20 and, you know, stuff like that. You don't hear people say that anymore. Have you realized that? You don't hear people say that anymore. I think now it's been this thing of like aging gracefully. It's either that you are like, I'm going to, you know, have my grades and don't, you know, don't wear makeup. I'm just embrace it. Or I'm doing all this, you know, I do alterations to hold on to my youth. Like, and I'm just like, there's got to be some sort of like in between that you just, oh, the see. And I just put that glue and it'll just hold that piece. So I'm just going to like make it literally about the same size. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to make it the same size. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, but just stack them. Yeah, this is literally like a puzzle. It's like a puzzle. If you do a bunch of big pieces, you don't have to worry about this. But I didn't have a bunch of different big pieces. I just had a bunch of the same big pieces. So I'm finding that I have to do this a little bit more. And I'm okay with it. I knew it. I'm using stuff that I already had. So I'm going to show you once I sort of put this down. Oh, this is going to be nice. Okay, hold on. I'm going to sit it and then I'm going to pin it and then I'll show you and then we'll start wrapping it up. And so, I just added this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the needle underneath and I'm going to go back to this point and then I'm going to sew across it and then I'm going to keep going. And that covers up both of those raw edges and it picks up where this one left off, this little blue one. I have to be careful because I had to back up a little bit to get the edge of the blue one. Hold on, y'all can't. I'm over here problem solving. I can't talk and problem solve at the same time. I'm like, I can't talk and problem solve at the same time. Okay, how am I going to go back? I'm going to come back up where I left off at, and then I'm going to move between the batting. I'm going to move. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to just come up. And then I'm going to just come across. Yeah, I'm talking to myself. I'm talking myself through this. Now, doing the glue also means that going through that piece is a little bit tougher. So be careful because you're going through, in theory, 4 fabrics and glue. So that makes for a lot of layers. There we go. And now what I'm doing is I'm going across that white fabric to sort of get that edge secure. And then I'll be right back to doing my stitches. I have to sort of stab stitch this one a little bit because I'm going through the edge, which is essentially two fabrics, plus the batting, plus the backing. And then we'll be calling it a day. Don't forget to let me know what you're working on. Leave a comment. Don't forget to thumbs up the video. What are your thoughts on aging gracefully? Like, what does that mean to you? Or do you even think about it like that? Or do you not think about it at all? I feel like I was about to keep going, but this string isn't that long. Oh, but I can go to over there. Okay, I'm gonna just... I think it's just like just such a wonderful like opportunity to just say, it's kind of like saying, you know, as an entrepreneur, like how I want to live my life and run my business and, you know, spend my time. It's an extension of that, you know. Y'all have pins everywhere, so I have to be so careful or I would just be sticking myself the entire time. I'm going to go to the end of this piece and I will be able to tie it off. And what's really cool is that means that I would just be able to start over with the fresh, you know, thread when I come back. I probably will sit here, honestly, and go for a while longer. I need to do some reading today so that I'm ahead of my schedule for this week. But, ooh, yeah. Okay, let me do this. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what your thoughts are on this too. And maybe it's me. Maybe it's just because, you know, I already knew. Like I started having these thoughts and it sort of was attaching to the age thing. Oh, that was the last part that I did want to add to that. I said it last week, but I think like now it's, you know, coming up more for me because I realize that I am like a couple of years from my 50th birthday. And that's just been a really nice sort of like, I don't want to say goal, but a nice sort of like timeline. It feels challenging, but doable. You know what I mean? And I don't have my little magnetic thing, and every time I'm looking for it, it's over in the container. I didn't pull it out. That I put my that I have that, you know, I was like, and here's the thing. When you get, you know, in 2 years, Lord's will, it's just going to be just a continuation. This is why, you know, I want to have not just for the moment, but what I see like from that moment going on. I just would like to have my base established. I would like to be running. I'd like to have my races that I do. There are some other races that I would love to do. I'm going to show you guys this. I'm going to back up so you can see this, that I would love to do, but to be able to do it in a way that I truly enjoy, which means I don't want to be gasping and feeling like I'm about to die. You know what I mean? Okay, so here we go. I normally would not do this, but I don't know what I did that I had those two raw edges like that. And because they weren't long enough to like one go behind the other, I just have to do what I got to do. But it makes me glad that I didn't do anything over here or over here because these small pieces are there. And so, but look at this. Like we're filling this space in. Where was I at? Oh, here I was. So I'm going to keep going. Don't forget to let me know what you're working on. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I'd love to know your thoughts on, you know, how you see aging, and um, it is nice. I'm really enjoying it. Um, I find that this sit feels so much easier than when I did the slow stitch for that journal cover, but I did like that. I'm surprised that I miss having the raw edges. The raw edges on that, y'all. I feel like when I look at myself with these in the thing, it looks like I look like fish. The raw edges on that, I feel like I love the texture that it gives your hands when you touch it. Um, but that's not how this one is going to be. I also think that this will make it a little bit more durable when he's maybe pulling it in and out of his bag or whatever. Oh, and the back looks good too. See? Well, those are my basting. Oh, let me do that while we're finishing up. I'm going to pull out the basting stitches. I was waiting. So I usually just leave the edge out. I hope I didn't, because I like, if I can, to keep. Oh, there we go. I found it. So what I do is I just take my, what is this? My seam ripper, not to rip it, but I just grab this underneath this basting because it's this thick white, and I just slowly pull it out. So I do like this until I pull the string out, and I have this, and I do reuse it. I will reuse this string. This was the basting string that I showed in a haul when I got new quilting threads. This basting string is so good. It is so good. It's thick. It doesn't break easy. And I love, it has almost like a, not a, it has almost like a, not a roughness. See, and this is like, because I did several pieces, you can't see it. This was because I reused basting thread from my big quilt. And so it almost has like a look, it's almost like a roughness to it. So it sits on the fabric just fine. And so I'm taking out all the basting stitches where I put the backing on there. But since I've gone around now, I think 5 or 6 times, it's all on there. So I just pull it all out, keeping the thread intact as much as I can. And yeah, I'll finish this. And it just slides right out. It's a blessing and a curse. But yeah. But you can just like, but also like, so then my question then would be like, what are your, like, do you do something about it, or are you just like, it is what it is? There's something about watching, you know, parents age, and realizing that our access to, I did rip that one and I didn't mean to. Our access to technology and being able to see, you know, that the way we sometimes aged in our community is not necessarily the norm, you know? And or it isn't the only way. That's it. I got it all. Also, the more you do this, the more it sort of just gets nice and like that between the thread and I'm gonna put this in here. I was gonna reuse this one more time, but I don't know if I will. I need to find something to put it in. I'll set it right there for right now. But I got all the basting stitches out. Oh, poked myself. It was the actual needle. So yeah, now I'm gonna just keep going. The basting stitches are out. I'll keep going. I have more big pieces. I'm not against repeating, so I'm just gonna keep going. I have plenty in this container to do. I did have to go over and go to my scrap container to get some smaller pieces to add some pop of color here and there. This was the one I was thinking about when I thought about that white. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep going. And I'm gonna look into the adding the scriptures. I was thinking that I could use I had this light one. And then I know I want to add at least 2 more pieces of this gold or this yellow color. That's what's the other piece of the basting. But I was thinking I could use this because it would show up, and I could always do it with black maybe. So we'll see. It will be really, really tight. But if I did it on here, it would be nice and stabilized. It would just be me having to stitch through a lot of layers. But I mean, that's not that bad. I mean, it would be small stitches, but so I was thinking I have a set of scriptures that I pray for him, that I could take those and put them on here in different places. So we'll see. I wonder if this gray would show up. This is the last thing. I would just do it something simple like a back stitch. I would use the gray would show. I would do a simple back stitch, and I would mark it on here with a friction pin, so that it will once I press it, it will for the most part go away. If there's any issues, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I may do it actually as a raw edge instead of a clean edge, so it'd be easy to see. I don't know. Either this or take a big piece like this so that I could actually have room to stitch it fully and then cut it out and do the edges, it doesn't have to be so small, because whenever you do a 2.5 inch, it goes down really small. I don't have another one in here. It looks like this, and that's tiny. I mean, it's small if you're trying to stitch words on it. I mean, so yeah. So I'll keep on going. So with that said, your girl is out. Have a fantastic week. I will hopefully see you all same place, same time. Hey, what am I making? I am making a Kawandi inspired quilt as a prayer quilt for my husband. A small, like a prayer quilt for my husband. And but I'm doing it the Kawandi technique, where you're stitching and adding fabrics as you go. Yeah, it is. It's coming along nicely. So your girl is out. Everyone have a fantastic week. I'll talk to y'all really, really soon. Don't forget to thumbs up the video and leave a comment and let me know what you are working on. And if any of this you want me to like do a tutorial or anything like that. I have been for the past few weeks. Come on, Dana. I think this is the 3rd week I've been doing this. The plan is I'll be back. So watch my channel and mark it to remind you. I've been doing 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. I thought it would be a great time. It's before everybody starts cooking dinner. I can get East Coast people in without it being too late. And we go for about an hour or so. Today's a little bit longer. but about an hour or so. And the replay will be back up on the channel. So I am out. Everyone, take care. Have a great evening. And I will see you all hopefully next week. Come back to the channel to see for sure, but it should be the same time next week. And what will I be working on? Who knows? I hope this is done, but if not, I might be painting. I might be sewing. Oh, I'll tell you guys next week. I might be finishing up the rat quilt. So you'll see. You'll know when I know. So with that said, I'll talk to you soon. Take care. And as always, I was about to say happy writing, not happy writing to y'all, but I'll see you sooner than later. Take care and goodbye.